All right, so this is Gia or Yararacita from the Grant Support Squad. And today it's very special update because we are going to give the review of the last 6 months. And we're going to be able to share with you some insights. This is something that we do always when we are finishing our grant. And we recap on the learnings of the last period. So if you go to the next one, Zeno, first we are going to share some impact metrics from this grant. And let's go to the next one. We are going to divide these impact metrics into our three main goals. So for goal number one, which is to support the grantees, we have onboarded 100% of our grantees. This means that every person that had received a grant, we have gathered with them and gave them everything they needed to start their grant. Then we also provided more than 720 hours of support in the last 5 months. This is counting from May until October. We are still going through the last month. So this is why this is like a cut from the first five. Then regarding blog posts, what we do is we share all the advancements of the awesome projects that the grants program has. So during this time, we have done 7 articles about the grantees that we have. And the 20 besides it, it's the total of articles that we have produced so far. Then for this period, we have held 19 testing sessions. And we have also provided solutions for 60 blockers and requests, which adds a 128 total so far. Now, regarding the second goal, which is to foster transparency in the grants ecosystem, following our roadmap, 100% of the grantees have a public roadmap created. And also, we started implementing the updates to make this process transparent. So they are all updated also. Then we have documented the processes of the Grant Support Squad. So far, we are really proud of document and publish 16 of these. And these are step-by-step guides on how we proceed with each of the activities that we do, also to provide transparency to the community on how we do what we do. Then outside of the roadmap, we have also added the publication of the testing sessions roadmap. So this is like a document where you can see all the testing sessions that have been held and also the ones that are already set for the future. And last, we have also added outside of the scope of this grant, but we did it because we have heard the community on the interest of making the grantees' concerns public. So we did this in a Notion page with status updates for accountability and transparency. And then for our third goal, which is to guarantee an efficient use of the community treasury, 25 of cases generated and closed through our formal request. This means that we have received them, reviewed them, analyzed them, and closed them. 11 of them were closed by the Grant Support Squad for lack of objective arguments. 5 of those cases have been elevated to the revocations committee. The other ones are still being analyzed. And we have recovered for this 6-month period. We're still missing one more month, but we have recovered to the DAO Treasury $291,330,000. Then regarding the idea of making a better grants program, we have added for this last grant for the idea of sending onboarding kits for brand awareness and warm welcome during this period. So during this 6 months, we have sent 45 of them. So if you are a grantee and you receive them, let us know. And then also we have added 9 pull requests into the documentation of Decentraland, updating the grants program. And besides the roadmap, we have also added 11 governance proposals. These are things that we haven't had in mind, but based on the community needs and what the grantees needed, We have published them and went through them. And then also we created a sensitive data handling policy. And this has been created because when sending the onboarding kits, we had to ask for sensitive information, which is addresses of the grantees. So we, before asking for that data, we created a sensitive data handling policy so we can handle that data end-to-end encrypted with a form that it's also end-to-end encrypted specifically for this procedure. Now, besides the impact of our grant, we would like to share with you some impacts of the grants program. And we're really proud to share this because in the last framework that we have added to the grants program, we have added the ask of for the grantees or the prospect grantees to provide insights on the KPIs of their grant. And these are based on a category basis. So, since the framework passed, only 9 grants had finished so far, which means that it's a very little population, but it starts to give us some insights on the impact that the grants program has in the Decentraland ecosystem. So, regarding this, we have had 5 platform grants that have finished. The DAO has invested in them $188,000. And this has given us 4 contributions to Decentraland's main repository, 11 apps deployed. This is a Catalyst, add-ons, VR client, smart contracts auditor, and also DCL Studios. Then also 11.6 thousand unique visitors, 21.4K page views, 14 project submissions, 141 applications from studios on the new project listings, which is very cool because it's the first time that we can measure all the grants of one category and try to measure how the grants program adds value to Decentraland. Then in world content, there have been 2 grants that have finished during this period. The DAO invested in them $3,000. 2 events have been held, 357 attendees to those events. From those, 350 are unique users, which is awesome. And then 374 wearables have been claimed during these in-world content sessions. And last, we have social media content. 2 grants have finished during this period. The DAO has invested $5,025 and 8 pieces have been produced. Between them, we have a landing page, videos, blog posts, 5 Twitter spaces, and an in-world tour. We have had 535 interactions, 7,000 reproductions on Twitter, 237 views on YouTube. So this is great. We are really proud of starting to measure the impacts, and we want to continue doing this in the future. And then also for this presentation, we wanted to give you feedback from grantees. So once every grant finishes their grant and the vesting contract ends, we ask them a few questions that helps us drive our roadmap for the near future. So when we ask the grantees what do they learn from their grants, 60% have shown that they have learned technical needs, and 48% of them they have shown to learn about the Decentraland ecosystem. This is a really good metric because these are the future developers of the DAO. So as we see it, we first invest in projects that starts to get to know how to, for example, work with our SDK or interact with our community so they can provide more value. But also, as we see it, these first, like the learning curve, it's steep at first. But once they understand how to use our technology, they can also do it faster and better and share that knowledge with others in the future. So these percentages are really good. When we say 60% and 48%, it's not like a total of 100, but among those answers, we have seen that some have talked about the technical needs, others have talked about the Decentraland ecosystem, but some of them have portrayed both on their responses. So that is why these numbers are here. It's not like a one single response, but we are trying to bring as much knowledge as we can. So these answers. Most of them are open questions. Then, regarding what changes from their grants since the initial proposals until they finished, 52% of them had reported that they had broadened their scope. Most of them because they understand that what they have proposed sometimes can, for a little bit more or for doing an extra mile, they can bring a lot more value to the community. Our grant is one good example of that. We start our grants with a specific roadmap, but once it starts going, we understand that there are other things that we can improve with small efforts. So that's why we broaden the scope of our roadmaps to do it better or to provide more value. So this is not only from us, but apparently like 52% of the grantees broadened their scope, and 17% reported that they had changed the technology they used. And this is also based on experience. Then, regarding what had helped them thrive, 30% had reported that the Decentraland Foundation was a good help, and other 30 had reported that the Grant Support Squad was. Then how can we make a better grants program? 26% said that nothing or that they were okay with the program as it was. 21% of them asked for better promotion support. And 13% asked that we could do a better grants program if we mitigate community toxicity. And I would expand a little bit more at that later. And then last, when we asked them how would they rate the Decentraland DAO grants program, the median is 4.5 out of 5, which is pretty good and gives us also room for improvement. Now, from all this, we would like to share 5 learnings from this grant. The first one, or the most important one, is that providing transparency is not enough. The community had shown concerns about accountability of grants, so we have put efforts on making the raising of concerns about grantees, for example, more transparent. And for the future, we have changed our goal towards transparency to be transparency and accountability, to focus our efforts and comply with the opening of our current processes, and also providing detail of each stage during the grants journey and continue applying it in the near future. So the idea is that when we said first that our goal was to provide transparency, we are also changing that goal to provide transparency and accountability and start putting like a big focus on that too. Now, the second learning is that promotion can be improved. As I shared, 21% of the grantees who completed the end of grant report during this period have mentioned that we can improve promotion support to make a better grants program. So in the future, we would like to add a request promotion button on the grants landing page as a resource for grantees. This is because most of the time when grantees ask for request is on our monthly check-ins. So what we want to give them is a space where they can make promotion requests besides those monthly check-ins, but do it on demand based on the needs of their roadmap, or if they have something that we can improve in between those check-ins. Now, for learning number 3, we would like to share also that technical advisorships are needed. So one of the most recurrent feedback was that our team should enhance the technical experience on the Grant Support Squad. So we would like to create a board of experts to evaluate more objectively the feasibility and health of technical projects. So when we are analyzing specifically technical projects, depending on the project and depending on the technological stack that they are using, we can ask for help from an expert in that matter. That can either help us understand either the feasibility or the health, depending on the space of the roadmap that they are in. Then learning number 4, and we have only 2 left, is that opening spaces for showcasing grants projects are valuable for quality purposes. So we are doing these testing sessions for a time now, and they have proven to be great spaces for the community to interact, for grants also to detect bugs on time, and also for promoting their projects. But also to identify concerns that led to revocation processes. So these testing sessions, it's incredible how people not only gather, but also we can have very different inputs from those. So we will continue opening spaces for grantees to showcase their projects and to share their advancements, such as testing sessions, blog posts, and town hall spaces. And the last learning that we like to share with you is that we need to mitigate toxicity. So one of the most mentioned pains in the grants program is how scrutiny of the community members add load to the grantees' work. And we would like to work on governance proposals that can foster a healthier selection process that takes into account criteria for better quality of grants, also clarity on their roadmaps when they start, and avoiding whale passing projects, mitigating toxicity in the ecosystem. And I would like to share a quote from a grantee that during their end of grant report had shared the following. They said, "It's already hard enough to build, meet the deadlines, generate revenue streams, etc. in Decentraland. Grantees shouldn't have to also endure personal attacks and stress from trolls." And this is a very specific point because, and it's hard for us to tackle because this exceeds the grants program, but it's of the DAO. But we have started conversations with people from the governance squad, also with people from the facilitation squad, and we would like to be active to work on governance proposals that help us mitigate this. So that is all for this last period. We would like to let you know that we have posted our renewal, and for us it's really important that you can go there, discuss, share inputs. We are always welcome for constructive feedback, and that would be it.